Hey, what's going on, Who Dat Nation? And welcome to another edition of the State of the Saints podcast, where we talk New Orleans Saints. My name is TJ Jones. Thanks for checking out the podcast. I really do appreciate it. Well, Who Dat Nation, we are officially focusing on the off season here on the State of the Saints podcast. Now, we all know about what happened in the NFC Championship game, but I decided that I am just going to go ahead and let that go, and we're going to focus on how the New Orleans Saints can get past that NFC Championship game and maybe next year headed to the Super Bowl. But you know, in the off season, there's not much football being talked about, so you have nothing but mostly rumors that circle around. But this rumor right here probably was the funniest I've heard in quite some time. But the story was written by NBC sports reporter Mike Flores. Now, Mike Flores is a well-respected columnist for NBC Sports. He's been a well-respected writer for a very long time. But he wrote a column that says that Jerry Jones is showing interest in Saints head coach Sean Payton. Now, I thought this was funny, man, because, you know, why would Sean Payton be interested in leaving New Orleans to go play in a train wreck that is the Dallas Cowboys? But for the sake of entertainment and for your listening pleasure, I will entertain this ridiculousness. Well, Mike Flores started off writing this story, and now it seems like everybody wants to chime in with it. Everybody has an opinion about it. Some people think that it would be a good idea for Sean Payton to leave the Saints. They're saying that Drew Brees is in the last year of his contract. Most likely Drew Brees will retire, and Sean Payton won't have the same type of success with the New Orleans Saints he had when Drew Brees was at the helm. And maybe he needs to move on before he actually lose some of his shine as a head coach. They think that Drew Brees putting up all these numbers is making Sean Payton more appealing. So if there's no Drew Brees, then what's next for Sean Payton? So go to the Dallas Cowboys, right? That's what they're saying. Go to the Dallas Cowboys, because the Dallas Cowboys have one of the youngest teams in the league. They got a young quarterback in Dak Prescott. They got a young running back in Ezekiel Elliott. They got a young wide receiver in Amari Cooper. They got a young defensive end in DeMarcus Lawrence. Then you got two linebackers, Lathan Vander Esch and Jalen Smith. I mean, you have nothing but talent that will be around you at all times. So maybe he needs to move on. But this is what I'm saying about the situation. As appealing as that may be, look, I'm not going to be a hater. I mean, the Dallas Cowboys, I do not like them guys. I really don't. I don't like their fan base. I don't like the team. I don't like how they get all the attention. But it is what it is. They got a good football team, man. They really do. They got a good football team that can win some championships. And Sean Payton, if I was Sean Payton, I would look at the team, but that's all I would do. I would not leave the New Orleans Saints organization, because the New Orleans Saints organization gives Sean Payton so much power. Sean Payton has power over the 53. You all may not know how big that is, but most coaches don't have power and say so over the 53-man roster. That's up to the general manager. The general manager is the one that goes out and select the players. They draft the players along with the scouts. They go out and they try to find the best player that can fit into the system or the organization. And it's the coach's job to go ahead and coach them up. So for a coach to actually have some say-so and say that, okay, this guy will be good with our organization, yeah, I'll be able to coach this guy, that's huge. But if Sean Payton was to go to Dallas, he wouldn't have that power. Everybody know what time it is in Dallas, right? We all know it's Jerry Jones's world. It's Jerry Jones's world in Dallas. He is the judge, the jury, and the executioner. If a coach is on the sideline, he basically is a puppet. For the exception of Bill Parcells and Jimmy Johnson, throughout the years of the Dallas Cowboys, they have had nothing but a bunch of puppets as head coaches. It's just guys that Jerry Jones likes, that he feel like he can manipulate, and he can kind of just make them go left, make them go right. And it seems like these guys are the guys that are calling the shots, but in reality, it's Jerry Jones, man. Jerry Jones is the one that selects the players. Jerry Jones is the one who signs the contracts. Jerry Jones is the guy who basically coaching the team behind the scenes. And we know that Sean Payton is not that type of guy. Sean Payton is not a puppet. Sean Payton is very arrogant. I think that's why we like him so much. Sean Payton, to me, is the perfect coach for the New Orleans Saints. And he's not only just the coach of the Saints, I'm talking about just the city in general. The city of New Orleans, there's this level of confidence that people in New Orleans have. And I know it because that's my hometown. We got this level of arrogance, man. Like, we're not to the point where we're not approachable, but it's just the fact that we know that we're something special. We know that we got something going on. We know that we got something to bring to the table. And Sean Payton is the same way. Sean Payton knows that he's a good coach. Sean Payton knows that he has some of the best ideas when it comes to offense in all of the National Football League. And he knows he has what it takes to win a Lombardi trophy. But Sean Payton is not a push around either. He's not going to allow you to push him around. For example, Akeem Hicks one day. Y'all know Akeem Hicks, right? Akeem Hicks, he played for the Chicago Bears. He's a Pro Bowler doing real good things. But Akeem Hicks was interviewed by the media in the locker room, and he was talking about some of the play calls on defense, and he was talking about how he wasn't happy about it. Well, Sean Payton heard this interview, and the next day, Akeem Hicks was traded to the New England Patriots. You look at Brandon Cooks. Y'all know Brandon Cooks. Y'all seen him in the NFC Championship game. Good player, man. I mean, one of the fastest guys in the National Football League. Good hands. One game, the Saints, ironically, played the Rams. And the Saints destroyed the Rams. I mean, absolutely destroyed them, man. I mean, it was a big day for the offense, but there was one problem. Brandon Cooks didn't have any catches. So Brandon Cooks' agent put a story out that said that Brandon Cooks wanted to be traded. He wanted out of New Orleans. And what did Sean Payton do? He didn't say, Brandon, oh, man, you had 1,000 yards in your first 2 seasons. Man, we still want you here. No. What he did was he traded Brandon Cooks in the offseason to the New England Patriots. I mean, it goes on and on. Jimmy Graham had issues with his contract. He wanted to get paid like a wide receiver. Sean Payton, what did he do? He traded him to the Seahawks for Max Unger. So what does this tell you? That Sean Payton has huge power in New Orleans. And this is not the power that he is going to get with the Dallas Cowboys, man. And I just think that him and Jerry Jones would bump heads if Sean Payton was to become the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. But we, as Saints fans, we don't want to see Sean Payton go anywhere. Sean Payton, he did have some down years. Probably throughout I guess like 2012 on back, the New Orleans Saints, they had like some issues as far as like trying to get a better defense. So there was some dark days. You can also say like right after his first year in 2006, they went to the NFC Championship game and then they missed the playoffs for like 3 straight years. But all in all, Sean Payton is the best coach that the New Orleans Saints organization has ever had. And I don't think that Gail Benson is going to just allow him to walk out the door and go coach the Dallas Cowboys without a fight. We love Sean Payton in New Orleans, man. The Saints fans love Sean Payton. They love the passion that he coached with. They love the way that, he dances in the locker room, and he has this charisma about him that just radiates from that locker room throughout the Superdome, and you can actually feel it, man. Sean Payton is the man. And like I said, I don't want to see Sean Payton coach anywhere else except for New Orleans. Now, I will say this. If Sean Payton end up, losing year after year after year, then maybe, we want to go ahead and reevaluate this. But at the end of the day, I don't see no reason why Sean Payton would want to leave New Orleans to go coach the Dallas Cowboys, because we all know once again that he will not have the power that he has in New Orleans. But I would like to hear from you. What do you think about this whole Dallas Cowboys Sean Payton situation? Do you think that Sean Payton needs to look at the Dallas Cowboy job, or do you think that is just absolutely ridiculous? Comment down below, like and share this video. Thank you for checking out the State of the Saints podcast. Check out the State of the Saints podcast on YouTube. Go to youtube.com, search the State of the Saints podcast. On Twitter at SOTS Podcast 8. That's SOTS Podcast 8. previous episodes are on iTunes, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Till next time, all I have to say is, who dat?